Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I've got a quick update for you about something we talked about in yesterday's video, and this is a very good update. So in yesterday's video, we talked about how it was reported Epic Games was allowing the downloading and playing of Unreal Tournament and Unreal Gold, even though Epic themselves have delisted the games a couple of years ago. Well, it turns out that claim was 100% correct. Gaming on Linux has us covered here, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below. But here's the update, and it comes courtesy of an Epic Games spokesperson. We can confirm that Unreal 1 and Unreal Tournament are available on archive.org, and people are free to independently link to and play these versions. In my opinion, this is a huge win for game preservation. This is a huge win for Unreal Tournament, especially people fans of those games. This is a huge win for old Unreal who make patches and new maps and stuff for Unreal Tournament. And this is a very big win for archive.org. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, I've got another update for you again about something we talked about in a previous video, and this was about Grove Street games being removed from the loading screen for Grand Theft Auto. So it turns out that Rockstar did an update, a very amazing update to Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. And in doing so, they removed Grove Street Games from the loading screen. Well, it turns out here that the CEO of Grove Street Games is not happy with that move. So here is what Thomas Williamson says. Speaking entire hypothetically, it's a dick move to remove primary developers from credits in an update, especially when an update launches hundreds of fixes that were provided by those developers that stayed out of players' hands for years. Now, taking a look at some of the replies to that tweet over on Twitter, X, so the X over on X anyways, taking a look at some of the replies here, and well, it appears that people are pointing out that Grove Street games were not removed from the credits, just the initial splash screen. And taking a look at even more comments, and well, it appears even more people are against Grove Street games. Here's what someone else says. Speaking entire hypothetically, do your job just right. You ruined not one but 3 classic games and Rockstar save you. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. In my opinion here, removing Grove Street games from the splash screen wasn't necessarily petty. I'm not on Team Rockstar here, I'm not on Team Grove Street Games. I'm just looking at the situation, and Rockstar created the initial games. Grove Street Games did the remaster, and then it turns out here that Video Game Deluxe are now fixing that remaster. So there's 3 companies involved. It wouldn't make sense to me just to call out Grove Street Games on the splash screen and leave it at that. If Video Game Deluxe has their hand in revamping all of this, they should get credit too, and they are in the credits. And that's a more appropriate place to put all of this. I could be wrong here. I could be way out in left field. Let me know your thoughts. Next up, we're talking about a story, in my opinion, that's absolutely wild. It's over on Nintendo Everything. I do recommend giving it a read here. The title to me kind of says a whole lot about this whole thing. Nintendo tracked down Switch pirate through repairs and Reddit. So I guess it all started with Nintendo hiring a law firm by the name of Mitchell, Silberberg, and Knupp to investigate Switch game pirating. And their investigation led them to someone on Reddit, and that person on Reddit had posted something about a university in Arizona. And then it turns out that same person, suspected same person, had actually sent their Switch in for repairs. So Nintendo had potentially their address as well as who the heck did it. Now, from my understanding, once Nintendo found out who this potential pirate was, they sent them a cease and desist, and that cease and desist was ignored. And that prompted Nintendo to take further legal action. I'm going to assume we're going to hear more about stuff like this moving forward, considering Nintendo's hard stance against piracy and also against emulation. Next up, we're talking about the Rogue Prince of Persia, and it turns out the Rogue Prince of Persia is getting a massive update, and they're calling it the second act. So the artwork has been upgraded. There's more bosses, there's new enemies, and even more stuff here. They're saying that the game content will double, and it's going to be released on November 21st. They're saying here that development of this game will continue on into 2025, and I'm very curious to see what happens. I'm assuming there may be a sale on the game pretty soon, so keep your eyes open if you haven't picked it up already. And speaking about picking stuff up, next up here, if you're a fan of Castlevania, you may be a fan of this over on the Epic Games Store. This is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, and right now it's 100% free. It won't cost you a dime. If you are curious about this one, again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. I have a pretty good games library from Epic Games where I haven't paid a dime for it. Next up here, we're talking about some FPGA stuff, and if you've got an analog pocket, you might be excited to know there's a brand new MSX core that has been released on GitHub. And secondly here, if you've got a Mr. FPGA, you might be excited to know that the Atari Jaguar core has been updated and almost all games are playable. Video Game Esoterica has a video showcasing the core in action and goes over quite a bit of detail. Again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below. Next up here, we're talking about a weird PS2 game that is kind of going viral, and prices of this are also going viral. Anyways, it's called Piglets Big Game for the PS2. And someone noticed that the music in this game is eerily similar to Silent Hill 2, as well as kind of the gameplay a little bit. So feel free to take a listen to this song on YouTube and let me know your thoughts about this one. A lot of people are saying that Piglet's Big Game is a kid-friendly version of Resident Evil or Silent Hill. And a lot of people have noted in the comments of this video that the actual song is in Silent Hill 2. This person here has a very interesting observation. Now I understand why Piglet is always so anxious and worried. Little dude lived his own Silent Hill. And taking a look at this game over on eBay, and you can probably guess, prices for this game are now astronomical. I'm curious to see what overall effect this has over on price charting. It doesn't appear that price charting has caught up just yet. But this goes to show that popularity is basically all that matters for a game that was selling for almost next to nothing for a PS2 game and now is worth a whole heck of a lot of money just because of this very recent discovery. And I'm curious to see if pricing for this game calms down after this whole viral bit calms down. Next up here, we're talking about Blizzard games. And if you're a fan of Blizzard games and a fan of open world shooters, you may be a fan of this rumor. Anyways, here there's a brand new rumor that is taking the internet by storm, at least fans of StarCraft and Warcraft and Blizzard games. Apparently they are making a new open world shooter and they're looking for a director of it. If you are curious about this one, the role is posted over up on Blizzard and I think you can still apply to it. The role is called Associate Design Director Innovation for the unannounced game. If you apply to this one and if you get it, let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious to see here what the project is and what it entails, but if you do get it, you probably have to sign an NDA to not talk about it. So maybe don't let me know because obviously this is the news and what you say may get projected to my audience. Next up, we're talking about Xbox, and if you're excited about a potential Xbox handheld, you might be excited about this news. Recently, Xbox had a "This is an Xbox" ad where basically everything was an Xbox. I'm assuming my cup of coffee here is an Xbox too. Anyways, they are hinting that they're going to be releasing an Xbox in a couple of years. And by new Xbox, I mean new Xbox handheld. Phil Spencer confirms they are working on prototypes, but we don't have an answer exactly when they might be released. And speaking about not knowing when something's going to release, next up here we're talking about Half-Life 2 RTX. And NVIDIA has just released the Half-Life 2 20th anniversary tribute video showcasing some of this gameplay in action. Additionally, here the Steam store page is up and unfortunately there are no teasers or any ideas of when this game may release. They only say coming soon. And speaking about coming soon, next up we're talking about Black Friday. And Black Friday deals are starting to leak and there's a whole bunch of rumors surrounding that stuff, PS5 being one of them. So it's rumored here that the PS5 Slim will be on sale, the standard and digital editions of it. And the sale to me looks pretty significant, and I think these prices are in euro. But at the same time here, I'm very curious to see if these prices turn out to be real and what they're going to be priced at over here in North America. If you've got an inside line, let me know in the comments below if you're interested in a PS5 and you're going to wait till Black Friday to pick up a deal. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.